turn off my vibraphone.
We're live.
All right. Can you see me? Can you hear me? That's a Gilderoy Lockhart reference for anybody who doesn't realize that.
Ah,
Oh,
good old
good.
Lockhart. Hey, it's an
Oh,
old
good.
friend of mine. He forgot.
Hi, YouTube audience.
Oh, hello.
How are you doing?
We're getting people on the chat. We are trying once again to get the live stream technical glitches worked out. We think we've got them sorted, so we wanted to get on here and give you a little bit of news, both on the RetroBlasting YouTube channel front and on the Dreamland RetroBlasting podcast front, which some of you might have seen the episode we posted on YouTube, and some of you might be following it on the pod app. So I'm going to let Melinda and Aaron talk about their little update for the podcast. And then, when I say little, I don't mean that it's diminutive. I mean that it's short.
Sure.
That's fine. We know where we belong.
That's not what I meant. So I meant that it's brief. So please, take it away.
No problem. We just wanted to come and say that we have wrapped our 2017 podcasting series, and we're going to try and do things like our day jobs and hang out with the family over the next few weeks, and come back in 2018 with more stuff to record.
That's right, season 2, if you will. And every once in a while, we also like to get presents and take a little break and do all that fun stuff for the holidays. But we're going to come back swinging in 2018.
That's right.
And it's going to be super fun. And we really appreciate all of the support you guys have been giving us. And the feedback online has been awesome. And you guys have been really, enthusiastic in your support of the podcast. And we both will really appreciate that. So thanks a lot.
And I know I sound like I look, but I'm Aaron, by the way.
We're getting some feedback here that says, can you turn up the audio? Is there a way to do that?
Yes, already done.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
We
Let us know if the audio is still too low while we talk.
But we're sure there's going to be stuff like that as we plow through this fantastic new technology of live streaming. Everybody out there makes it look so easy. We're finding out that, man, it's just a mysterious world.
It is a mysterious
diving
world.
into.
Yeah, it is.
We actually have wizards here today that are,
Yep.
yeah.
Well, keep it secret. Keep it safe.
Right. My
That's
bad.
right.
My bad.
So I wanted to let you all know on the RetroBlasting front, I know it's been a few weeks since our last video. You might have seen from the Facebook updates that we're working on RoboForce Part 2. We're also gearing up to finish the flag restoration. RoboForce Part 2 is the one that's currently in production right now, but it has an extensive shot list, and we're trying to get that put together. We put it together right. We don't put it together fast. And then next year, we're going to kick it off with a few videos we've been discussing. One is a new installment of Star Wars Follies, and I'm not going to give too many details on that, but I will tell you that the title of this episode will be Snowblind. So that will be the new Star Wars Follies coming out in January next year, January, February. And then we're going to tackle a few other things. Should I tell them about some of our plans for videos for next year? Or am I giving away too much?
No, that's good. I think people are excited to hear.
Okay, so last year or the year before, I can't remember which, we had a little bit of an issue where our original video for Thundercats had to come down. And
Yeah, who's noticed that, by the way? Anybody noticed that our very first, most popular video, the Thundercats or Racist Porno Kitties, is no longer out there and available?
Right. So we have decided that we are going to respond to that in a bigger way by coming back around, because it was our first video, and a lot of you have expressed that you'd like to see us do certain properties that we've actually already talked about in what you call the RetroBlasting format. So, for example, one of our earlier videos was Transformers, but we didn't really do that in the RetroBlasting format.
Because we didn't have a RetroBlasting format back then.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to make it a priority to revisit Thundercats in a 2-part redux that's going to involve looking at the entire series, and it's also going to look at the entire toy line. So we're gearing up for that right now. And then a few other lines that we're trying to do for next year. We're going to finish up Star Trek. That's coming very soon. So you'll get a Star Trek The Next Generation episode or installment. And then we're also going to do Bionic 6. We're going to do Chuck Norris. We're going to do, if I Can Get Everything, we're going to do Crystar. So it's going to be an exciting, fun 2018. So I'll shut up now, and if there are any questions coming in on the feed, I will answer them.
There are some requests. Voltron, Super Friends. Someone says do a Star Wars giveaway.
And more Star Wars follies as always.
Broken
Right.
Vader. Yes, Broken Vader will be making a reappearance in 2018.
But restore him. He's perfect.
He's
the way he
dangerous.
is.
Spock told me not to do that, and
Did
he did. Spock told me do not trust him, and
I told you do not trust
and you
him.
told me do not trust him.
I've got to hear more about the Spock one because he seems to pop up at these key moments.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing Voltron. I'm seeing.
Somebody did ask about, of course, it didn't take very long, but somebody asked about your opinions of the new Star Wars movie, and I think we've all decided that we are not going to talk about our opinions either way because it's still so early in the release that we don't want to spoiler it for anybody. We want everybody to have plenty of time to see the movie.
And like some of you, I haven't even seen it yet. So
Right.
Yeah.
So
we've been in the studio all day just baking this live stream. So
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
it's baked. Not,
Is it
not
baked?
fried.
Is it fully baked?
Yeah, it's the lower calorie that
We're
way.
not,
Healthy.
but the stream is.
I see what you mean.
Guys, yeah.
Now, do you guys? Let's see. We need more Black Star toys for review. Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Can you guys see between these two chairs, Melinda and
not way down
Aaron's chairs? No, you can't see down there. There's a Black
Oh, no,
Star
it's
ice
not in frame.
castle sitting right there,
And I'm not picking it up.
No.
And then we've also got the Black Star figures down
Monomorph.
there. So I think I'm only missing a few pieces to that line. Like I don't think I don't have the Trobit hot air balloon, and I don't have Time Lord's Griffin cadre. I don't have his Griffin, but we are planning to do a Black Star 2-parter. So
Oh, awesome. Two
Yeah.
parts.
2 parts.
Always love those. You got your toys and the way you split everything up is always really cool. I'm getting laughed off the stage.
First part, of course, is the cartoons.
Right.
Second part is the merchandising.
Yeah, that really works well for me, though.
Oh,
when I'm
good,
watching this.
good. We do that because I know some people like the videos to be all one long piece, and we really are flattered when someone says it wasn't long enough. I could watch a video for an hour, but we find that there are actually 2 segments to our audience. There are some people who don't collect toys, and they only watch and enjoy vintage cartoons, and they've told me, I really like the fact that I don't have to slog through a toy review I'm not interested in to watch a cartoon review, and then vice versa. Other people say I really am into watching vintage toy reviews. I'm not so much interested in the cartoon part. So it works out.
A couple people said, Paul Miller says Thundar, and yes, I am in the process of writing Thundar. I just kind of had a little bit of writer's block, but I'm going to power through it in 2018, and we're going to get a Thundar video. In terms of tours of the studio, yes, we will be doing a full tour. I think we have one more flag video, and
Right.
as soon as that's done, everything will be sort of cleaned up from that process, and we can more easily do a or a studio tour. Will we ever be releasing the other panels from Dragon Con? Somebody asked.
Yes. Thank you for reminding me. The Indiana Jones panel from Dragon Con this past year will be edited and put out soon. I'm hoping to get that done before the new year as kind of a holiday treat because it was very successful. We had a lot of fun doing that one. All of us did, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I was invisible, but
right, and then the cartoons panel that we did. I'm still on the fence about whether or not I put that out. Not because it was a problem; it was a great panel. It's just it retreads over some material that you might have seen in a previous panel. So I need to kind of figure out if it's worth your time to post that.
And before we lose it, I do want to give a shout out to the Ding 1701. Your comments about Spiral Zone having some really cool toys. Very true. And if you guys don't know, Dreamland, we did a show on episode 1 of Spiral Zone. I think it was 1, right?
Yeah, it was our second podcast, and it was the first. Well, I don't know if it was the first episode, but it was an episode of Spiral Zone.
Yeah, there was a little chronological difficulty back then. I think
Yeah.
we were going forward and backwards in time a little bit on
Yeah.
those shows.
Yeah.
So, but definitely check that out if you like podcasting. Then go check that out and hear. We had a great time talking about that.
Some people were asking if we're going to be doing any more live videos, and yes, now that we have figured out the live stream process, and it seems to be working better than before.
Yeah.
We will be doing, I guess, weekly or bi-weekly.
Yeah, we don't want to overpromise,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
we definitely want to take some time and actually think about this format and some exciting ways that we can use it. That will include things like writing and some creative stuff that goes along with it.
Exactly.
So I don't want to be like, it'll be every 3 days. We'll be live, and then we go crazy.
We're just gonna film like us doing regular stuff,
Yeah.
like cleaning, you know.
What?
Just, it'll
Oh, yeah.
just be like a webcam of our boring lives.
No.
Like sitting
No.
on the couch, like writing scripts. You guys want to see that, right?
No.
I mean,
no, they
Today,
don't.
Aaron makes an authentic Russian borscht. Tune
today
in.
we'll be making an omelet.
No, they don't.
Omelets
They
are
don't.
hard to
Omelets.
make. You know, that might be a good idea.
I think it'll be fun, and we
I
can
think
start.
could
We
talk
can do
Michael into this.
some vintage foods. You know, like what we had in the
Vintage
80s.
foods.
We'll do like foods you can't buy anymore, but we'll make homemade versions of them. Yeah.
No,
So let
no.
us know in the comments.
All right, maybe we need to workshop
you're excited
that. We
about
might
that.
need to workshop
Darth
that just a
Vader
little
cake.
bit.
See, people are on board with this.
Yeah.
I am super excited about baking cakes and
No, wait a
letting
minute.
you.
That's useful because we were supposed to film the baking
R2?
of the vintage Wilton R2D2 cake in July,
That's
Mhm.
right.
and it became this whole process where
Oh, you
actually
don't know.
cooking in a vintage 80s cake pan that's shaped like a character is tricky. And so we went through like 3 cakes, and so now that we might have the process down, maybe we should do that.
This is what I'm saying. You guys want to see a
We
cooking
are
channel
finding
that's
out-
retro, right?
We're all finding out from the Lucasfilms folks, though, what actual blue color they used for the R2 cakes. So maybe we can apply
Well,
that.
there's also a Smurf pan we have.
That's true.
We have a Smurf pan. So-
They talk about possibly a review of Planet of the Apes TV show and the short-lived cartoon series. What about that?
Yeah, I have the Planet of the Apes cartoon upstairs in the library, and I'm gonna watch it. I was actually gonna do a podcast on Clobberin' Time with Mike Alonso about that, which actually should happen within the next few months, I think. But in the meantime, I do have one Planet of the Apes toy. I have Cornelius. I'm hoping to get some of the others. I guess Cornelius and Galen
Multipass.
are the same ones. But yeah, I would like to do Planet of the Apes. That's kind of going back into the mid 70s a little bit. But it's definitely on the docket. I'd love to do it. Let's see. It says here, live stream of Superpowers Repair.
Oh, you just put the pressure on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When that screw pops out and goes
here-
where you don't know where it
here's-
is.
Here's the problem, and I'm gonna get a visual aid.
Where did Michael go? Oh, there he is.
So
Snorks versus Smurfs. That's a good one.
The final battle.
I know this is going to be a little small, but this is Martian Manhunter from the Superpowers line. They are sonic welded together, so there are no screws in the back. You would have to, if this mechanism broke, you would have to take like a razor blade and cut him apart in the hopes that you could.
Like a toy cereal
But
killer.
Yeah.
you know what? I just want to go back. That live stream idea for refurb or a repair,
Uh-huh.
the thing that I'm realizing right now, live on the stream, that makes this so cool is that someone can literally say, "How is his leg attached?" And you can answer and say, "Well, it's
Right.
It's welded on. You can't
Someone
take it off."
says
Right.
boil them.
Well, yeah, you can boil them to a point, but actually getting them apart, fixing the wind-up mechanism, and putting it back together is a very hit-and-miss process, because then you've got to seal the character back together with some kind of strong adhesive that's not going to impede motion after it dries. And I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying that with these characters that have these internal mechanisms, that's why I don't like that. I don't like action features on action figures, because it can break down. Where I just got, for the Thundercats redo, I just picked up a few of the second wave figures, and one of them is Linkso. And he showed up, and Linkso's arms, that Battlematic action, is broken. And so his arms now actually move freely like an action figure, but you can't, when you press the lever on his back, nothing happens because it's broken. And I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan.
You know, Michael, I think the sonic screwdriver will help you out with those sonic welds.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Should I get a scarf and a hat too?
That's
well, I
what
mean, if
someone
that's
said.
what you want.
Do it and we'll forgive you about hating Thundercats. I actually think that you guys are going to be pleasantly surprised with the Thundercats redo. I'm not saying I'm going to change my opinion. I'm not going to pander, but the format that we have lends itself to, as you know, to a more in-depth study. So it's going to be a study. Some of my comments will be the same, but I think Thundercats fans aren't going to be as affronted by the redo as they were.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, so
We'll
'Cause
see.
they were very vocally upset about the first
Right.
one.
yeah. Oh, thank you, Randall, for the compliment. I've worked hard on this display. Thanks.
DeLorean update.
DeLorean update. So
There is some news for that.
there is. Yes, I am wearing a Bespin Luke jacket. Good eye. The DeLorean update is
That's hello in Australian, by the way.
the DeLorean update is as follows. I'm still trying to fix the carburetor and the fuel pump. But the car is in good shape. It's in a garage. It's been tucked away. It's safe. It's warm. It's happy. And hopefully it'll be back on the road soon. Melinda's dad actually knows a mechanic who's going to rebuild the carburetor for me. And I'm going to get that to him during the Christmas season. So we'll see how it goes.
Someone asks if I believe that they should burn their dad's sister's Cabbage Patch Kid, and I would say no. Don't do that. That's horrible. I mean, unless it's possessed, in which case, burn it, kill it with fire. But otherwise, yeah, I mean,
And
I
it
don't know
can be
if
a
it's-
subtle difference between not possessed and possessed.
Yeah,
Cabbage
dolls
Patch
are creepy. Like,
Yeah.
let's just be honest. And Cabbage Patch Kids are pretty creepy, but
Someone's asking, how do we like the new Columbia Star Wars jackets?
for me, I really like mine. It's white,
Where did Michael
so
go again?
that makes it a little difficult to wear, out in the world because,
After Labor Day.
well, now there's winter white, so that's fine. But how
The-
many Star Wars jackets can you wear at
one of the
once?
questions that I've been getting about these is, are they warm? Because Columbia has managed to keep the general
Yes, and
proportion.
they're lined with mithril, as you can see.
Yes.
So it's really nice, and it's warm as well as being spear-proof, which is nice.
Yeah.
While being lightweight.
It is really warm in the cold temperatures. I was wearing it in 27-degree weather, and this is the Luke jacket, which is the lightest one between the Luke and Han, and it's fully lined with this material, and it worked great, and it looks great, and
You don't have the Han one, do you?
I do have the Han one.
That
Would you like to
one's
see?
amazing.
Would you like to see the Han one? I'll go get the Han
Only
one.
if you put the hood up.
Right.
Just-
And then glare threateningly. But yeah, these things are actually pretty cool. I was surprised by the fact that while they keep the look and feel of the jackets that we all loved, with slight little differentiations here and there, they really are effective at keeping you warm. I think Michael was even sweating at one point. Oh, he's putting on the sort of warm hat, so that's cool. Here he comes.
We do costume changes. I mean, he's like Cher, really.
So, so this is the Han one, and the thing about it is it's deceiving, because you think for a minute you're just going to have this big blue cloth parka, but then when you put it on, you're like, wow, this is actually pretty sharp. I hadn't intended to buy this one until we got in the store, and then I tried it on, and Melinda and I were like, yeah, we kind of got to get this one. So the hood, when you put it down over your head, it tickles your nose, the fur, so the hood's not, unless you keep the hood out of your face, it can be a little troublesome, but the overall coat is nice, and it's got the lining in it. It's great.
Cool.
Robotech. Yes, Robotech is one of those things that we've been working on for a while, and if you're familiar with the series, you know how much there is to review and then review. So we have to watch all of that and then make a lot of notes, and then we want to cover it as thoroughly as it deserves. And so it's just been sort of a longer process. So and then we're waiting on one key piece
Yep.
for that particular video. So that's the other big holdup on that. Someone asked about a Christmas special and also about any last minute Star Wars gift ideas. Any Star Wars gift ideas, Michael?
Star Wars gift ideas. Well, it's always good to go outside the toy realm if you're buying for a Star Wars fan, because most Star Wars fans, they focus on the toys, and they don't focus on a lot of the ancillary stuff, unless they're just that friend of yours that really is obsessed with tumblers, in which case, we all have that friend.
Star Wars vintage lunchbox would be a good one, I think.
Yeah, anything from, and I'll tell you, Think Geek has a lot of cool stuff that's Star Wars related.
We're not being paid to say that.
Yeah.
We should be.
We're
But-
not paid to say anything.
No, we're definitely not.
Yeah, so if I would look at Think Geek's offerings for Star Wars material, Yeah.
Someone asked if we can do Shogun Godzilla.
I can. I got to get one. I know that toy real well. The Shogun Warriors they're like holy grails for collectors, especially kids of the 70s. They're all very expensive, but I'd be happy to do a Shogun Godzilla. I just got to get one. So,
Are they going to market new Star Wars toys for the latest movie? Someone asks.
are they? Well, they already are. Is they referring to me and you? Are we doing the Star Wars toy?
No, I think they're saying, are there going to be new Star Wars toys for the latest movie?
Oh, well, yeah, they've got Star Wars toys for the latest movie out now. Let's see.
Oh, Michael, you should buy me a real pony for Christmas. Thanks, Robert, just a fan. Good idea.
Good old Robert, just a fan.
You know, this year Michael got me a cat. So I've already gotten one live animal for Christmas this year. I think that's probably all the live animals we can have in 1 year. But
right.
You know, maybe next year.
Maybe next year. Let's see.
Maybe they're wondering if we're going to review the new toys.
Oh, on the new toys.
Maybe.
Yeah, the Last Jedi toys are not that much different from the Rogue One offering. Same 5 points of articulation for the figures with a few Black Series mixed in. The vehicles, it's like 2 vehicles, I think, for the line, maybe 3. And then they do have a playset, which is shaped like BB-8, which opens up and it becomes
cool.
like the Imperial ship on the inside or something like that.
Interesting.
But it's still relatively miniaturized. So all the interiors they're kind of Lilliputian. You know, they're not as big and exciting as, say, the vintage Star Wars stuff was. So I don't really feel the need to do a video about the Last Jedi toys because everything I would say about them I already said in the Rogue One special. So if you want to know my thoughts on the Last Jedi and modern Hasbro, watch the Rogue One special.
Someone asks, they said we never answered about the Christmas special. I don't think we have a Christmas special scheduled.
We've always wanted to do stuff about the Christmas specials of the 80s, though.
Right.
Yeah.
But aren't you guys thinking about, well, maybe next year, I guess, because you're going on hiatus now. But I know that you guys talk about vintage cartoons.
Yeah, if we
Still
do,
in
it
the
would not
works.
be in the Christmas season right
Right.
now. But,
I mean, we've still got
specials in
9
general.
days
Yeah.
till Christmas, so
Yeah.
there's time for us to come up with a plan, you know.
Because
If you've got a plan of what you want to see for a Christmas special, just let us know.
you did Adam's Family Values for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we did.
So it's not outside the realm of possibility that.
I think they're asking you though. Are we doing?
Well,
a Christmas
I
special?
can talk. I can talk about Christmas specials. One of the ones I'd love to talk about is the Life and Adventures of Santa Claus, which was one of the Rankin Bass stop motion specials. It was one of the last ones they did, and it is messed up. Like
It's pretty great.
It is like it's like Lord of the Rings meets Santa Claus.
Whoa, so
Yeah.
lots of songs too.
Well, there are some songs, but there's a lot of like mythological beasts and primordial
Santa had an
enemies.
interesting life.
Yeah, he had a very interesting life. Santa had a life like Legolas. I mean, he was just like.
Did he run across the top of the snow?
He did. He and then he said, "Red sun rises." So yeah, we can do one of those. I don't know if it'll be this year. We'll have to gear it up for next year.
Do you think there will be any more Star Trek toys? Well, I don't know, but I wish that they would make toys for the new show that we love that is completely just went out of my head. That's like Star Trek.
What? Oh, the Orville.
Yeah, the
yeah,
Orville.
the Orville.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The Orville should make Star Trek-like toys, and then we could all play with them and be awesome.
Somebody just
careful.
asked me a question, and I have an
Very
answer.
careful. Okay, Michael, we'll see you in a little bit.
Bye.
But no, that is a good idea. The idea of doing some episode for Dreamland, at least, on some kind of specials, not just Christmas, but there are tons of specials out
Somebody said.
After school specials.
Somebody
Oh my
said
God.
just now that I should check out Captain Power training tapes. You talking about these? Because I can.
there. How did you do that?
Because I saw it go by and I just ran over and grabbed them. They're on my
And
desk.
I've been in this room all afternoon. I don't even remember seeing those.
They're over by my computer.
That's insane.
But yeah, I want to do a whole Captain Power special, so we will tackle these in the Captain Power special.
Someone asked about vintage monster toys such as Dracula.
Oh, you talking about the Remco vintage monsters? We did a special on that a few years ago, which you can watch. I also had planned to do a special about the monster toys within the real Ghostbusters line of Dracula and Frankenstein and the Mummy. But we got the toys and then ran out of time in October to do it. So I'm going to possibly just do that next year early on, like, in the spring or something like that.
Someone asks, Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers? I got to go with Michael Myers.
You?
I'm Myers right now. I don't know. It goes back and forth for me.
Oh, I didn't really know much about Michael Myers growing up. I knew more about Jason, and from seeing those video cassette boxes.
But I would say Freddy above all.
Well, yeah. I actually...
we do a show called Dreamland.
I mean,
Right.
it's true. But of those two, yeah, Michael Myers. Someone asked if we have any convention appearances set up for this next year. And as far as we know, we're planning to go to Dragon Con, although those haven't been released yet, like in terms of whether or not they've accepted our application to be a guest. But
Have we applied?
I don't know. Usually, it's a little early for that. But I mean, yeah, that's the plan, is to go to Dragon Con. Other than that, we don't have any firm plans. Just some possibilities.
Yep. Let's see. Battle of the Planets. Oh, yeah. Battle of the Planets, a.k.a. G-Force, a.k.a. Gatchaman. The cartoon with like 50 names. Yeah, I'd love to do that show. I just got to pick up the right disc set because, as you know, with anime, even though it was translated into English, which dub are you getting, which transfer, which restoration. So if you have any recommendations on that, please post in the comments and let me know what set you think I should pick up to watch that show. That's important.
A lot of those drift. I was rewatching Akira on the newer special edition, and just the changes from the one that I saw in the 80s to now were huge.
Yeah.
Like in the dialogue.
Yeah.
So
it's something
it
about
looks
anime.
like they worked harder on the recent one to get it closer to the original Japanese.
Really? See, that's always a problem with Japanese animation to home video here is that, 1 minute, like with Studio Ghibli, when Disney did Spirited Away, you find out that even though you have the Japanese language track, the subtitle track you're watching is actually just the English dub in subtitles.
Yeah.
Whereas the new Studio Ghibli release of the Blu-ray, the English subtitle track on Japanese is literally translating the Japanese language. So that's the whole thing.
Which I appreciate that.
Yeah, me too.
So.
A couple people have asked what are our thoughts on Hasbro's using 3D photo printing for more realistic likenesses on 6-inch and other figures.
It's funny. I remember back when Attack of the Clones came out in 2002, and they were bragging about the fact that they put all the actors in these like scanning booths, and then they cranked out the smaller figures with more accurate face sculpts and things like that. They're always still trying to get there with those. But truthfully, the Hot Toys stuff, which is hand sculpted for the most part, from what I understand, because they're doing actors from way back in their careers, like Christopher Reeve and Mark Hamill from Empire and Snake Plissken and all that kind of stuff. Those are hand sculpted and they are incredible. Like, they're incredibly accurate to the actors. And so I feel like if the gimmick is going to make it more efficient, more cost effective, great. But hand sculpting can create some amazing results.
Well, yeah, I mean, the character isn't really the actor, right? So what we look for on these toys isn't always the actor's face.
Right.
It's who we saw on that screen.
On the screen.
So an artist is going to do a better job of getting to that than just mathematically matching that person's face.
As someone who has a degree in, like, hands-on art as opposed to computer art, I, of course, support, like, a sculpt. But like you said, if it makes more financial sense, I mean, I understand that, too. Somebody is asking about, do we have any plans for Star Ears? I've seen that come up a couple of times.
Oh, geez, do I? Let's find out.
There he goes.
He's gone again.
Careful with the rest of the flag.
Yikes.
Wow.
I mean, I have a few plans for Star Ears. I don't know if this answers your question. I just got to get some of the action figures. I have one of them, thanks to Jason Brown. But it's in the package and I can't take it out. But it'll be in the video. So I have to find more of the figures themselves. But I did make sure that I had the base. So yes, we will be doing Star Ears.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that line, but that's a really cool looking thing. So,
I was about to say, careful where you point that thing. I'm not quite sure what it can do.
are we looking at? Did you already talk about the He-Man ideas that we have for next year?
Yeah, we were talking about trying to expand He-Man in the video library and possibly even to the podcast if you're open for that topic.
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
I mean, maybe.
I'm not trying to put content in your face. I'm just you know. I have constantly tackled He-Man the way I tackle Star Wars and G.I. Joe, and to a lesser extent Transformers, which is the line was so big that it would almost be a disservice to try and cram it all into a 2-part video, especially when the toys are only going to get one video. I've tried to sort of dole it out in you know dollops because it's so big, and also certain toys are so quirky, like the Roton or Stridor or the APC, that it actually lends itself to one short, interesting little video vignette. So the question is, do you want to see a 2-part feature if the alternative is to do a bunch of little shorter vignettes? Now, some of them will be longer, like the Masters of the Universe storybooks video that we did. That was longer, and I think that was a great
Hi, Audra,
video.
my friend from childhood. Sorry, had to get that in there.
Oh, that's too awesome.
So the question is, you know, would you like me to do that? Would you like me to just keep doing episodic videos of Masters of the Universe here and there, or do you just want to see a big 2-parter? I mean, I feel like with He-Man and G.I. Joe, they need more than just a 2-part video. I feel like they're special, like Star Wars.
Well, they're kind of perennial too, so it's
Yeah.
great when they come back in between things.
Right.
And they may not get the long episode, but there's a little skit, something you can do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because people always, if you love G.I. Joe, people will always love G.I. Joe.
Right.
Now, if you hate it, okay.
How's the Bionic 6 project?
Oh, it's good. Bionic 6 is good. We're doing that next year. If we don't, Tim will kill me.
Yeah.
That's true. Brave Star. I don't know if we'll get to it next year, but I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
It's certainly, it's sitting right up there.
Brave
so,
Star's
yeah,
entire Fort Kyrium is sitting right off camera up
Yes,
there.
it is.
Yeah.
So
Glaring
yeah,
at
we
me.
will be doing Brave Star. I have the whole series. I can't wait to do that. I have a lot of respect for the Brave Star cartoon.
Someone asks, who is our favorite superhero, and do you have any superhero playsets on display in the studio? We definitely have superhero playsets on display here. My favorite superhero is probably Hawkgirl from the 90s Justice League. Just because, ha! You know,
Right.
that's just amazing.
So she's Hog Girl.
And she's, yeah.
What's your favorite superhero?
Right now, I couldn't give you like a firm answer on a favorite
So
superhero.
Aaron's
Lex
melting down.
Luthor. Lex Luthor is his.
My favorite superhero has traditionally always been Superman, but I always have had a soft spot for the classic Spider-Man as well, and I also love Wowo. So I love Wonder Woman, have since the Linda Carter TV show. And as far as playsets that we have in the studio, we have the Superpowers Hall of Justice, and we also have the Secret Wars Tower of Doom right up there next to Brave Star's Fort Kyrium. So we need to get on to Secret Wars at some point as well, which we plan to do.
Takatoku Valkyries. A short video on them would be nifty.
I have the Bandai re-releases of the Takatokus in the different colors. You know, Mirias and Maxes and all that kind of stuff. What I don't have are the original Takatokus, which you can get, but again, I've been putting my money prioritizing that for other things.
It's so weird how that sounds like Mexican food.
Takatoku?
Takatoku, even though it's like Japanese. Anyway.
So yeah, I
crunchy.
can do a video showing the Bandai re-releases because they're virtually identical. But I know you guys like to see the vintage original stuff, so I'm on the fence as to how to proceed with that.
Gundam?
I don't have any Gundams, not for lack of interest. It's just, again, where am I putting my money this month versus versus my budget? So,
Thoughts on Inspector Gadget?
Inspector Gadget, I really loved the Tiger toys from the early 90s, the transforming car. I'd love to get a core set of those characters. I'm not that wild about the big doll from the 80s, although I know some people worship it. But I would love to do an Inspector Gadget 2-part feature at some point. I think it would really be worth it.
Someone's talking about the Brave Star horse, and yeah, 3030 is extremely breakable and ridiculous. Although I like him because he's a pony. Visionaries, Knights of the Magical Light, they're right down there.
Yep. We have them. We don't have any of their vehicles yet, but when we do the video, I will want to at least get the flagship and a few other things. So
The thing about a lot of these is we have a bunch of it,
Uh-huh.
but when you start looking at doing a video about a fairly small toy line, you kind of feel compelled to just get all of it,
Right.
so that we can just do a full review of the full toy line all in one video instead of doing the video with only part of it
Right.
and then feeling like, oh, we need to go back and redo.
Right.
So, sometimes it's just a matter of financially being able, or just being able to find some of these things if they're rare and get all of them before we do the videos.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Same thing with this person just mentioned. I just lost it because it moved. There it goes again.
80s
Gremlins toys. We have the transforming Gremlins that I've had since I was a kid, but there were so many other toys. There was the pull string Gizmo. There was the plastic larger Gizmo.
I personally want all of those.
You have rebought the pull string Gizmo, and you also have the growing.
The
Gremlins.
Hatchimals of the 80s.
Yeah, the hatchable Gremlins. But then that, you have to ask yourself when you're working on these videos, okay, are we going to take these never used hatchables and throw them in water after 35 years and possibly ruin them to demo them on camera? I don't know if that's the most responsible thing to do.
No, just use CG, Michael.
Right, because I got a budget for CG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I'm ILM, man.
You didn't tell me
Aaron's
that.
going to want you to start paying him now.
We do have Rock Lords, and I don't have any Beetlejuice toys. Galaxy Rangers, I don't have those because they were only sold in Europe and they're extremely hard to find. I missed a lot of them on eBay a few weeks back. They sold for, I want to say $650 or something. It was just the 3 cowboys, and that was it. But they had their guns and their hats, but that's going to be a long time coming. I might actually end up doing a Galaxy Rangers cartoon review without the toys because they're that hard to find. So
Now, I can't remember, do we have a copy of the GoBots movie?
I don't. We don't. No.
This person has a VHS copy of the GoBots movie.
Uh-huh.
Another movie that we're looking for, if you happen to have it, is the Rock Lords movie.
Right.
Because
That is the GoBots movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's oh yeah.
Right.
That is something that, like, if you've got it on VHS, I don't know if you have a way of scanning it in and putting it out, like, on
Right.
the internet, but that would be really great because I looked everywhere and I couldn't find it. So, yeah.
Of course, after careful examination of copyright laws and the time period and current ownership would be
Right.
important. In
I mean,
that
I'm not
process.
telling you
Yeah.
to do anything illegal, but just, like, private message me. is
Yeah,
what
that
I'm
would be
saying.
Warner Brothers because they own Hanna-Barbera and Ruby Spears now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be Warner Brothers, and they've put out all the other GoBots material. They just haven't put out the Rock Lords movie, which is
It's
weird.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
What if this? A lot of times it's due to not being able to find the source material in a high enough quality to put it even onto a DVD. So.
Yep.
Someone's asking if I read My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. No, I'm really more interested in the vintage My Little Pony, so it's just not really my thing. It's no criticism. It's just sort of more I don't really.
I know my girls love it.
They also want to know, Melinda, if you're going to review The Last Unicorn.
Well, I mean, I hadn't considered it, but I certainly could. I've seen it enough times, and
You have.
I can torture Michael with the America soundtrack, which is one of my all-time favorite
I
things.
don't hate America.
Whoa.
Oh,
This
wow.
ain't that kind of podcast.
This isn't the 4th of July. Yeah, so maybe that's a good idea. Sure.
Okay.
Cool.
Anything else? Let's see.
Well, I think there's going to be a lot. I mean, people have been
Right.
waiting to do this with you guys
Right.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Just rest assured, the plan is to keep doing things like this. I don't want to give you a schedule, like I said before, without having sat down and thought about how this flowed. Behind the camera right now, we've got the help from a gentleman named Tim Witten, who is producing over on the video
Yeah,
side.
we have
Right.
people in the background just working.
And Timothy Ward, as always, is pulling all these things together that you guys are saying so that we can get a sense of what you were looking for and the questions you had. And he's also just thank you for all the great work you do, answering questions and keeping everything flowing on the Facebook page, too.
Yeah.
Amen to that.
Thank you, Tim.
I just have one more comment. Someone says they would love to see a video where we all sing cartoon theme songs.
You don't want to hear my singing voice.
I would do that.
Oh, you don't want to hear my singing voice.
I would have to give it a try and then look at it in post and see how well it went.
I can't. First of all, those cartoon theme songs, I can't get that high.
Well,
I can.
We'll just bring it.
I can do it.
We'll use
I'm
audition
going to start doing that in the podcast, Aaron.
to pitch you up in audition.
We'll just auto-tune you.
Yeah,
But no, I'm going to start singing in the podcast because I sing all the time.
right? Well,
And
that's
I'll just
who you are.
I'll just start singing and you guys will be sorry you ever asked.
You gotta be you, Melinda. It's fine.
You do it.
I can just edit you out in post if I need to.
Yes, I do have Karate Kid figures. I do have Karate Kid figures. I'm trying to get the Attack Alley and some of the play sets, and as soon as I have those, I'll
got
do the video.
touch. Sorry, somebody was.
And that
She's already starting.
that's also an interesting reversal, because the Karate Kid toys came out years before the cartoon actually did, and then by the time the cartoon came out, the toys were gone. So that might be the first two-parter where everything's flipped.
You did the toys up
where
front.
Part 1 is the toys and
Yeah.
Part 2 is the cartoon.
Keeping it real.
You know,
Yep.
if we're singing, I could start doing raps too.
I have it
Highlander.
on good authority. You're good at that.
I am.
Someone's giving a shout out to Highlander.
Yeah, and they talked about the toys too. Apparently,
There were Highlander toys.
somebody said that.
must
I
have
don't
been
know
the
if it's
90s.
I don't know. I'll have to look into that one.
true. Jason the Wheel Warriors again.
Why?
I mean, is there anything else to say about that? I don't know.
I mean, I'll probably end up doing a video reviewing the base and the walkers at some point, because I didn't focus on those.
Uh-oh, it's the popo.
Uh-oh. Here comes the police.
Uh-oh, they found me.
Sorry, everybody.
I don't know how, but they found me. Run for it, Marty!
No.
All right.
All
So,
right.
well, we've got a lot of great suggestions here, and we appreciate you guys sort of just sending over, just yelling out what you love, and that's awesome because it gives us great ideas. So,
Yeah.
we're gonna probably go for right now.
Yep.
Right?
We're gonna end this live stream, but there will be more of them. I'll answer the last question. My two favorite lions on Voltron were black and red. So there you go.
Me too.
Awesome.
Yep. So
Yeah.
thanks, guys, for joining us for this, and we will see you on the next video, RoboForce Part 2, and the next live stream will happen as soon as we establish a schedule.
Yeah, since
And
we're
the
at the
next-
end of season, whatever you want to call it, since we're
Right.
talking full retro blasting.
Right.
But at the end of the year,
Uh-huh.
we'll get together and figure out how we're going to approach. But
Okay.
I'm just taking control here.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
no, go for it.
All
Do
right.
it. And then season 2 of our podcast, Dreamland the RetroBlasting podcast, will be in January. So check out that when it comes out.
Loads of fun.
And have a great holiday, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.